The pub is dimly lit. Daniel Nate wipes down the bar with a cloth. The air smells faintly of beer, cigarette smoke, and the ghost of deep-fried calamari. A record crackles. The specials Ghost Town. From behind a dartboard, Joe Camel leans, wearing a pastel blue linen shirt, sunglasses, puffing a cigarette through a gold holder. Spuds McKenzie twirls a bottle of cheap tequila like a gunfighter. Spuds. Grinning Daniel. My brother from another mother. This is it. The golden goose. All we need is time, space, and a small population of Cavia porcellus. Daniel pausing mid-wipe. Guinea pigs? Joe. Snorts smoke. Nah. In it. We're going up. These ain't guinea pigs. They're white rats. Designer rodents. Pedigree panic. We're breeding them for rich bastards who want exotic pets. Spuds. Think. Hamsters with drama. Rats with branding. We're calling them pallid pals. Already got a waiting list on the dark web. Daniel. You're breeding illegal rats. In the cellar? Joe. Grinning. Exactly. And once the heat dies down, we move them to Toad's barn. All organic. Eco-chic. Spuds. We've got heat lamps. Vitamin supplements. Tiny chew toys shaped like tiny coffins. Top tier care. Daniel. It's not smuggling. It's curation. Daniel sighs. Eyes darting toward the empty fireplace where a photo of a woman and a little girl sits. Emma and Lily. He touches it absently. The smell of burnt toast briefly hits his nose. Not real. He blinks it away. Daniel. Just. Keep em quiet. I've got enough on my plate running a pub full of lunatics. His phone rings. The ringtone is "You've lost that lovin' feelin'." He answers. Daniel. Three Gables. Daniel speaking. On the other end. Bodley. Voice crisp. Clipped. Nasal. Bodley. Daniel. Bodley. Health inspector. I'm scheduled to visit your establishment tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Be ready. I will be thorough. Daniel. Bodley. Right. Yes. 10:30. We'll be. Spotless. Bodley. Good. I detest disorder. And rodents. Daniel. I loathe rodents. Even the idea of them gives me hives. Daniel forcing a laugh. No rodents here. Not a squeak. Bodley. See that it stays that way. I'll be bringing my assistant, Alicia. She's meticulous. Click. Daniel hangs up. Stares at the ceiling. Daniel muttering. Rodents. Right. He turns slowly to Joe and Spuds. They are still grinning. Daniel. You too. Did he say rodents? Spuds. Oh. That's just Bodley. Fear of the common brown rat. He once fainted at a subway platform when a pigeon sneezed near him. Joe. Relax. Dan. Your rats won't rat you out. They're white. They look like albino doves in a horror film. Classy. Daniel sighs, but a smile tugs at his lips. A marble palace of mirrors and candles. Steam rises. Bodley. 40s. Thin. Precise. Wearing gold-rimmed spectacles. Lounges in a clawfoot tub filled with rose petals and what looks suspiciously like Epsom salts and brandy. He sips red wine from a crystal goblet. The door opens. Alicia 30s. Sharp. Stunning. Power suit draped over one arm. Steps in. She peels off her blouse. Her bra. Her skirt. No ceremony. Just elegance. Bodley watches. Calm. Amused. Bodley. You're late. Alicia. Had to finish the inspection prep. The Three Gables is chaotic. A den of misfits. Bodley. Sips wine. They always are. That's why we exist. To bring order to chaos. She steps into the tub. The water ripples. They clink glasses. Bodley. Tomorrow, we shut that pub down if there's so much as a crumb out of place. Alicia. And if there are rats? Bodley shudders. Bodley. God forbid. I'd rather eat my own notepad. Alicia leans in. Kisses his neck. Her hand slides under the water. Alicia. Then let's hope for cleanliness and thoroughness. They kiss. The wine glass dangles from Bodley's hand. The candles flicker. Daniel descends the creaky wooden stairs, holding a torch. He hums always look on the bright side of life. Then he stops. His eyes widen. Hundreds, no, thousands, of white rats scatter across the cellar floor. They scurry over sacks of potatoes, chew through cardboard, climb wires. A Pallid Pals banner hangs crookedly over a wire cage, now overflowing. Daniel. Oh, no. A screech. A rat the size of a small rabbit leaps onto his boot. He yelps. Kicks it off. He stumbles up the stairs. Rats follow. He slams the door shut. Leans against it. Panting. Daniel. 10 hours. 10 hours till Bodley gets here. And we've got a plague. He pulls out his phone. Dials. The courtyard is a chaotic hub. Pat Clifton stands next to Toad, in a flamboyant polo shirt and ascot who is attempting to inflate a paddleboard with a bicycle pump. Pat. Toad. For the love of, why do you need a paddleboard in the middle of nowhere? Toad. Adventure. Clifton. I've read about forest yoga on inflatable craft. It's the future. Sam Payton arrives, in full firefighter regalia, carrying a broom. Sam. Daniel says meet at the back door. Sounds urgent. Bill Clutterbuck emerges from the pub, nose twitching. Bill. Smell that. Not damp. Not mildew. That's fur. And panic. Super Ted bounces over, red boots squeaking. Super Ted. Mother Nature never warned me about this. Rats. In a British pub. Unnatural. Jet arrives, wiping paint off his hands. Jet. Hope it's not more of Toad's artisan cheese fermenting in the fireplace again. Carmel Bunny and Kathy stroll over, sipping coffee. Kathy. If this is another one of Joe's schemes, I swear I'm selling my Birkenstocks. Carmel sipping slowly. Joe's schemes always smell like regret and eau de menthol. Daniel bursts out the back door. Daniel. Rats. Hundreds of them. In the cellar. Joe and Spuds bred them. Everyone freezes. Pat. Quietly. Well, that explains why my bike seat was gnawed. Spuds. Emerging from the pub. Guzzling a Red Bull. Relax. They are domesticated. They've had emotional intelligence training. Joe. Sunglasses on. Smoking. We even taught one to say cheers. Not great enunciation, but still. Progress. Super Ted gasps. Super Ted. You broke the natural order. Rats multiplying unchecked? That's against cosmic law. Sfrandkaz. Entering from the woods. Massive. Cloaked. Carrying a log like a toothpick. In my homeland, we feed such vermin to trolls. Or we become the vermin. Either way. Strong. Trip. Skeleton. Baseball cap backwards. But how do we catch 'em? I've got a butterfly net, if that helps. Jet. We need traps. Poison. A flamethrower. Or a really big vacuum. Sam. Let's start humane. Nets. Buckets. And patience. Daniel. And hurry. Bodley's coming at 10:30. And if he sees one rat, Bill, he'll shut us down. And probably sue us for emotional distress. They all look at the cellar door. From below, a chorus of squeaks. Pat. Right. Let's save the pub. And our sanity. Chaos. Absolute chaos. Everyone is armed with brooms, nets, buckets, cardboard boxes. Spuds has rigged up a rat zapper made of Christmas lights and a toaster. Godfrey stands near the stairs, watching. Godfrey. This is hopeless. I once saw a mouse in me stable and they shut down the whole equestrian meet. We're doomed. Pat. Godfrey. Even you can help. Just stand there and look intimidating. Godfrey. I am intimidating. I've got resting horse face. A rat leaps onto Jet's shoulder. He screams, spins, throws it into a bucket. Jet. Right. No more Mr. Nice Decorator. I'm going full pest control. Joe tries to flirt with Alicia, who hasn't arrived yet. From memory. Joe. Imagine her. Spuds. Legs like escalators. Lips like warm tarmac under moonlight. Spuds. Mate. You've never even seen her. Joe. Doesn't matter. The idea of her is enough. Trip tries to lure rats with crisps. Trip. Come on. You wee squeaky bastards. Crunchy walkers. Salt and vinegar. The elixir of life. A rat bites his finger. He yelps. Trip. OW. Little shite. I felt that. Kathy. You're a skeleton. You don't have nerves. Trip. I've got emotional pain. Alright. Carmel gently places a saucer of milk. Rats swarm it. Carmel. Sometimes. The gentle approach works best. Spuds watches. Misty-eyed. Spuds. She's like a woodland goddess. Calming the beasts with her essence. Kathy shut up. Spuds. You've got drool on your trench coat. Super Ted climbs a shelf, dropping down a net. Super Ted, I once stopped a volcano with kindness. But rats? This is Mother Nature testing me. Sfrandkaz hurls a sack, catching 5 rats. He ties it shut with a growl. Sfrandkaz, like catching fish with bare hands. Except fish don't squeak like dying banshees. Daniel paces, wiping sweat. Daniel, they are multiplying. I swear there were 200 this morning. Now, there's hundreds. Bill, in my lighthouse days, we dealt with rats by playing sea shanties. They hated the harmony. Sam, we don't have time for sea shanties. Bill, but I do have an idea. He holds up a smoke grenade. Sam, non-toxic, drives them into the open. Jet, like war, but with rodents. Daniel, do it. Sam pulls the pin. Smoke billows. Rats scurry in panic. The group lunges. Nets, buckets, brooms. It's a blur of motion. Squeaks, laughter, curses. Finally, after 20 minutes, silence. They stand in a circle around a massive black bin bag, writhing. Pat, is it all of them? Spuds, nervous. There might be a few stragglers in the ventilation shaft. Joe, let them stay. They are probably unionized by now. Daniel, we can't leave them, but we can't keep them. We have to get rid of them now. Pat eyes the bag. Pat, I've got the van. We can drive em to the quarry, or the sea. Sam, or drop em off at Toad's old car collection. He's got that abandoned Rolls Royce. Toad, hey, that's a classic. Jet, exactly. Perfect rat hotel. Daniel looks at the bag. A faint squeak. Daniel, just get them far away, please, before Bodley arrives. Pat, right. Volunteers? Sam, Bill, Trip, Super Ted, and Jet nod. Pat, off to the great rat dump. May the postal gods guide us. They hoist the bag. It writhes. They load it into Pat's battered red van. It squeals away. Daniel to himself, 10 minutes. Please, let it be enough. Pat's van sputters along a winding road. Inside, the group and the bag. Trip, this is depressing. We're like undertakers for vermin. Bill, back in Dorset. We just set em free. Nature takes care of the rest. Jet, but Bodley's not nature. He's a man with a clipboard and a vendetta. The bag squeaks louder. A small hole appears. A rat pokes its head out. Super Ted, oh no. Breach. Trip slaps the hole shut. Trip, right. No more snack breaks for you, pal. Sam, we should have used duct tape. Jet, we should have used a cannon. Pat checks the GPS. Pat, almost at the quarry. We'll dump em in the old pit. They'll build a utopia. Or eat each other. Either works. The van hits a bump. The bag bursts open. Rats flood the back seat. Everyone. Chaos. Rats on heads. In boots. Chewing seat belts. Super Ted. They are everywhere. Bill. They are breeding in motion. Jet. Grabbing a fire extinguisher. I'll freeze em. He sprays. Rats scatter. One lands on Pat's head. Pat. Get it off. I'm trying to drive. Sam grabs a net. Trip opens a window. Jet sprays foam. Super Ted sings a lullaby. Hush little baby. Eventually, rats out the window. Into the quarry. Silence. Sam. Did we get them all? A small squeak. A single white rat crawls from under Trip's seat. Trip. Oh. 4. Again. They all sigh. Jet. Let it live. It's the last of its kind. A survivor. They stare at the rat. It stares back. Then scampers off into the bushes. Pat. Well, that's that. Pub safe. Daniel saved. And we're exhausted. Sam. Let's go home. And never speak of this again. Van drives off. The rat watches from the bushes. Then turns. And vanishes into a hole in the ground. The pub is spotless. Silver polished. Floor mopped. Even the dartboard looks nervous. Daniel paces. Joe straightens his shirt. Spuds hides a cigarette behind his back. Door opens. Bodley enters. Crisp suit. Clipboard. Measuring tape. Alicia follows. Professional. Stunning. Tablet in hand. Bodley. Sniffing. No smell of damp. No grease. Remarkable. Daniel. We take hygiene seriously. Alicia scanning the room. Very clean. Almost. Too clean. Joe. Approaching. Smooth. Well, when you've got standards. And vision. He winks. She almost smiles. Alicia, you're Joe, right? The camel, Joe, grinning. The one and only, Joe Camel, at your service, darling. She blushes. Bodley doesn't notice. He's measuring the gap between the fridge and the wall. Bodley, 3 inches. Acceptable. Alicia to Joe, whispering, meet me in the toilets in 2 minutes. Joe, whispering back, make it 1. I'm efficient. They exchange a look. She slips away. He adjusts his collar. Daniel watches, horrified. Daniel, Joe, don't you dare. Joe, relax. Dan, this is damage control. If she's distracted, she won't notice the tiny violations. Daniel, that's not damage control. That's compounding the crime. Joe winks and strolls off. Bodley inspects everything. Taps, drain, hand soap quantity, even the toilet paper roll's alignment. Bodley, flawless. I must say, Daniel, this is the cleanest rural establishment I've reviewed in 5 years. Daniel nervous smile. We aim to please. Bodley, no pests, no signs of rodents. Daniel, rodents? Ha, not a whisker. Bodley nods, impressed. Bodley, well, I shall mark this as excellent. Probably recommend it in the newsletter. Daniel exhales, almost collapses. Then, Bodley frowns. Bodley, I need to use the facilities. He walks toward the toilets. Daniel panics. Daniel, wait, plumbing's sensitive. You might need, earmuffs. Bodley ignores him. Enters. Bodley pushes open the door. The cubicles are silent. Then, moans. Squeaking springs. He walks to the last cubicle. The door's ajar. Inside, Alicia and Joe, mid-passionate embrace. Clothes half off. Bodley, stunned Alicia. They freeze. Turn. She gasps. Covers herself. Alicia. Bodley. I can explain. Bodley furious. Voice cracking. You're fired. Fired. How dare you, using this filth, this camel, as your lover. Joe, adjusting shirt. Coolly. She seemed into it, mate. Bodley, shaking. You're both disgusting. This pub is a den of vice and vermin. He storms out. Alicia pulls herself together, eyes wet. She runs out the back door, just missing the bus. Bodley storms out, face red, tire skew. He marches to his car, a pristine silver Audi. He fumbles with keys, opens the door, then, he stops. On the roof of his car, a single white rat, sitting, tail curled, watching him. Bodley, whisper, no. The rat squeaks. Bodley screams, a high-pitched, soul-rending shriek. His eyes roll back. He collapses, falls face first into a puddle. Silence. From the pub door, Daniel, Joe, Spuds, and others emerge, staring. Spuds, well, that's one way to fail an inspection. Jet, I told you, rats are nature's equalizers. Sam, is he alive? Bill, only one way to find out. Pat rushes over, checks pulse. Pat, alive, fainted from trauma. Classic case. Daniel sighs, looks at the rat, and that is not possible. We dumped them all. The rat looks at Daniel, blinks, then vanishes into the storm drain. Kathy, some things can't be contained. Carmel, especially not in this town. Joe adjusts his sunglasses. Joe, so, Pallid Pals 2.0, Daniel deadpan. If you breed one more rat, I'm turning this pub into a bat sanctuary. Super Ted pats his shoulder. Super Ted, you did good, Daniel. For a man who doesn't know where he is. Daniel blinks. The sound of a child laughing echoes. Faint, distant. Lily, he looks around. No one else heard it. Daniel, yeah, I guess I did. The group stands in silence. The sun breaks through clouds. The pub hums with life. You can